Greetings and welcome back to the Saw Retrospective, Christmas in Crime 2021. I'm Chad and I'm back with Santino.
What's up, everybody?
And Dylan.
What's happening, y'all?
All right, so we are at the midway point. We're at 5 and 6. So just to catch everyone up on the story, Jigsaw's dead. Pretty much everybody except Hoffman is dead at this point. And Hoffman's been revealed to be Jigsaw's accomplice the whole time. So picking up with Saw 5. Santino, first reactions.
It's very it's very it's not great, but I had enjoyment. So the traps were really I honestly felt like as enjoyable as some of the traps were, these were like the weakest ones in the entire franchise. Because
to me, the whole trap just felt utterly pointless to this film.
Yeah.
This film felt like it was an introduction to Hoffman, because before this, think about it, Hoffman had like one line in Saw 3. He was at the beginning of 4, and then he was captured next to Eric Matthews the whole movie, then revealed he's the accomplice. So it feels like this whole movie was like, all right, we can't spend the whole time explaining who Hoffman is, so just throw some random trap that means nothing to nobody in there for no reason.
Well, I guess it's my turn to be in the minority this week because I actually like Saw 5.
Really?
I like Saw 5. I think it's probably in my upper half of the sequels, mainly because, you're right. I do think the game parts are a bit weaker, but I think the procedural cop drama I think here is stronger, mainly because what's his name, Strom, our main character. I think he's possibly the best Saw protagonist yet.
I actually liked him.
He's more likable. He's more likable than Matthews was, and he's more competent than Jeff or what's his name, Riggs.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the biggest advantage this movie has over the last few.
And it's a shame that he dies, because I think I said it last week, exactly what you just said. Strom was easily the most competent character, aside from probably Carrie, that this franchise has seen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And now both of them are, and they're both dead.
And honestly, like, even though like I like Strom, that the way he died was like probably the most interesting in the entire franchise. No, not the entire franchise. Sorry, the entire movie.
Yeah, it was a very satisfying death.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that looked horrible.
Exactly.
Seriously, it really looked horrible.
Yeah, those closing walls, those are great.
Closing walls, rushed, and it's like, yeah, oh.
I was gonna say it's one of 2 Edgar Allan Poe references in this movie. There's the closing walls, and then there's that swinging pendulum trap at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, love it when modern horror movies reference classic literature like that.
I did. You know what? I will give it. I did like the opening trap with Seth Baxter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that was cool. Yeah.
What I think I liked about it was like the way that was filmed. You could tell that this movie was not being directed by Darren Lynn Bousman anymore. David Hackle's style is so different than Bousman had it.
Yeah, I mean, it feels homogenous enough, but you can definitely tell the edits have kind of slowed down, and the color palette's less green. Now it's a bit more bluish, I guess, blue and gray.
Yeah, it definitely didn't have that like murky look to it, but it was like that worked for. I saw that more in Saw 2 and 3 than I even did in 4, but here it was gone. Like you just said, the color palette was very different.
Mm-hmm. I forgot to mention another one of my problems with 4 is that some of the editing, even for a Saw movie, got pretty obnoxious. Like when the scene where Hoffman gets kidnapped there, it's like they try to fake a jump scare with a pig mask behind him.
Mm-hmm. Like where the camera focuses on the pig mask while he's still standing there, and then it screams.
Yeah, pretty lame, you know.
I think at that point, I'm not going to speak for him, but I think at that point, Bousman may have been getting tired because...
Probably. I mean, he was in his 20s when he directed. Like, I think he was 24 when he did Saw 2.
Well, then you know what? Hey, 3 years in a row of planning and then filming, 3 years of that. I don't blame the guy for getting tired if he actually was.
I also honestly think that we like as much as I like what's his face
Strom.
Strom, yeah. I feel like his character was wasted here. Like I feel like he died way too early. Like he could have at least been in number 6.
I think he could have sort of been like the main protagonist of the series until like 7, you know.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I mean,
Whatever.
it's because they wanted to switch to Jill. That's the reason.
Did they?
Which I'm fine with because
fine.
I think Betsy Russell is absolutely gorgeous.
No, and also like at least the trap that made me cringe the most was that buzzsaw hand thing. Like I can
Oh,
never,
yeah.
Oh,
I love that trap.
I never put my hand.
I was gonna say, Santino, would you have been the guy who would have been like talking to the chick and been like, "We're gonna do this," and then just knock her out and ram her arm in there?
That's
Because
pretty
I'm
fun.
not gonna lie, these two are like both criminals, and they're like, "All right, we're both gonna slice our arms up." Like, I'm stunned one of them didn't just knock the other one out and do that.
Oh my god, I was
They'd
like,
already been backstabbing each other since the first trap, so it's like, why stop now?
Mhm.
yeah, and it's like yeah, that's the thing. Like aside from the buzzsaw, like the traps are like pretty like low key, which sucks because like when I watch Saw 6, like I love the traps in Saw 6. And
Oh,
even
yeah.
saw the quote unquote final chapter, even though it's not the final chapter because it's another thing for that. But like, even there, I enjoyed it. But here it's like very lackluster. Like, sorry to say, like, okay, so like the first one is like, oh, the girl gets decapitated. Like, okay, yeah, so what big deal? Like, I've seen worse.
Pretty bad CGI.
Yeah, really bad CGI too.
The nail bombs I did not care for at all,
Yeah,
especially with like
they just
CGI
blew up.
explosion.
Yeah, they just blew up. And number 3, like, what the tub? Like, she dies before that even actually happens. So.
Yeah, but I'd say it's counterbalanced by the good traps in the film. I think there's enough memorable ones here.
I think the traps were lackluster because you got to remember with this movie, we're balancing 3 stories. We're doing the flashbacks to how Hoffman met Jigsaw. We're doing the ongoing forward story of Strom trying to hunt down Hoffman and like prove that he's the accomplice. And we're doing the trap. So it's like, I will give this movie major credit. I do think while the trap story itself was probably the weakest of those 3 interwoven stories, I still wouldn't call the trap story bad. It just was very weak.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I like how the whole point of it is to get them to work together, you know.
Yeah.
And I do like how the last 2 survivors like they kind of realize like what that they kind of deserve to be there.
That was awesome. That was awesome. Like when they found out that they could have actually like, all survived if they just like trusted their instincts.
Yeah.
Echoes what Chad said last episode, where just all you have to do is listen to Jigsaw and listen well, and you'll survive.
Your instincts will tell you one thing. I urge you to do another, and they didn't listen.
Yeah. Well, regardless, I think the 2 survived. Well, I guess not both of them. The girl, whatever her name is, I think she was also more likable and competent than most of the previous like game victims. Certainly more than Jeff, the third one.
Oh yeah, and that was what was that? That was Julie Benz.
Yeah,
she did a good job, I thought.
Yeah,
the guy could have died for all I cared.
No, actually, yeah, because I was wondering like why did they keep this guy alive for so long? He's like, he's clearly incompetent, but then again, I guess
he was only there for the big reveal that he was the one who burned the building down so they could connect all the pieces. Like imagine if the chick who got decapitated had made it to the end. There never would have been that reveal.
Right. I guess another thing I like about this film is that it feels very, I don't know, straightforward compared to the previous ones. It's like, there's not as much like flashbacks this time, and it's sort of well, like you said with the fourth one, it killed off all the previous characters and got rid of all the loose ends. So this is kind of like starting fresh with a completely new protagonist, completely new antagonist.
Like a reboot, honestly, which is fine because I like Hoffman as the apprentice.
To me, this one just felt like the next chapter. Like 3 and 4, like we said, taking place simultaneously. Both are the end of Jigsaw himself, and this one is like the immediate aftermath. Like, how many days after would you say this was? Like a week, maybe?
I mean, like the part with Strom in the water cube trap, that was like immediately after, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, I'm talking when Hoffman got like his promotion
Okay.
or award
Yeah,
or whatever.
probably like
Like,
a week or two.
okay, so if you think about it, it's like jumping forward a little bit, like 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 all take place over the course of like 2 weeks. That's a lot of dead bodies in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But I think my favorite parts of this film, as weird as this is going to sound, were the flashbacks of how Hoffman and Jigsaw met each other.
Oh yeah, I like Hoffman. I think his motivations make a lot of sense. Like I bought him more as a Saw apprentice than Amanda, or especially Dr. Gordon. I like that he was like this corrupt cop, whose sister got murdered, and so he used his knowledge of the Jigsaw killer to try to recreate it to get revenge on that guy. I like that.
And it's funny, I always thought that scene of when Hoffman was tied to the chair, shotgun aimed right at his face, and Hoffman's like yelling at Jigsaw, and he's like, "You're a murderer," and Jigsaw's like, "Murder is distasteful to me." It's like, dude, that like felt like almost an in-joke where it's like, no, dude, you are a murderer.
Yeah.
You can say you're not all you want. Like, Amanda and Hoffman were also, but it's like, dude, you've killed people.
Dude, yeah, you have. I'm sorry.
You really don't hold a gun to someone's head and say slash your throat or I'm gonna pull the trigger. It's you're a murderer one way or the other.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I know a lot of people get a really.
Oh, I don't either because he's
psychopath.
Yeah, exactly. It's like he just had a little bit of. I don't think class is the right word, but he's not just like a violent slasher like Jason or Michael.
Yeah,
honestly, and honestly, also like, I just feel like I like the fact that despite Jigsaw being dead, we still have his presence. Like, the guy is cool.
Yeah, Tobin Bell's is great in the flashbacks.
Tobin Bell's John Kramer is really awesome. It's like this menacing old dude who just wants to like kill people.
Oh yeah. I forgot to mention that like in the third movie, I think there's like in the script or something, or I'm not sure they shot it. At some point, John Kramer was supposed to like break down, like crying, realizing that like, his efforts to have people appreciate life were all in vain, and he's just like a crazy murderer or something. I think that would have been really interesting, especially at the end when Jeff is about to kill him and he's like just smiling in place, Like, I don't know. I think that would have been a good arc.
I agree. Like, that would have been really cool to see, actually. Yeah.
Realizing that he's just, he's not like he's not like a genius who gets people to appreciate life in a fucked up way. He's just like any other killer. And at the end, when Jeff's about to kill him, he's like, whatever. It's fun anyways. I can't wait for this guy to find out what happens when he kills me.
Right. See, I think he kind of felt that when Amanda got shot in the neck, where he was like, she's dead. That was and in his flashbacks where he was remembering Jill. I don't know. I think that was around the time when the regrets were there, but maybe it's like you said, it was too late anyways, and he was just like, what difference does it make? I'm about to die.
Yeah, I like that. And what else do I like about 5? We haven't even mentioned that great scene where Strom gives himself a tracheotomy with a pen.
Holy shit, that guy was that.
He did the.
Why would he forget that though? Like, of all things, why would Hoffman accidentally forget the pen?
I don't know. Maybe it was really like lodged in there. But anyways,
belt or something. I remember seeing that because I'm like, okay, well,
unescapable trap. something
like,
Hoffman would one up when later.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what? I want to say, I think my biggest issue with the glass box trap was they showed the glass box in 4. And then, in all honesty, it didn't. I mean, what was Jigsaw actually building it for? Because
Yeah,
Hoffman used it. So it's like,
Well,
was it
okay.
supposed to be a trap that Jigsaw was going to build, but then Hoffman took it and like perverted it to do his own thing?
There's a deleted scene in the 4th movie, where the part where Rig enters the apartment building and there's like this like drunk, like homeless dude there is like yelling at him.
Oh, the brothel place.
I guess, I don't know.
Ray killed the fat guy.
Yes. That homeless guy was supposed to be put. There's like, I think an entire scene was shot. There's like pictures of it that exist on the internet of that homeless guy in the glass trap.
Jeez, what'd that guy do?
I have no idea.
What was supposed to be the pain that was supposed to the guy was supposed to feel so that he can live?
Well, there's like broken glass in the box, right? But I don't know exactly what was supposed to happen.
Okay.
I know a lot of people complain about Strom suddenly being like a dumbass at the end for not just following what Jigsaw says, but honestly, he had no reason to trust the tape recording. I mean, his last trap was basically inescapable. And if you actually look at the glass at the coffin, you see there's like these tubes connecting into it, which detach once it starts sinking into the floor. I think it's possible that he could have been drowned again.
And people got to remember what happened to him at the beginning of the movie was obviously traumatic. The Strom we see in this movie is not, he's mentally not the same man he was in 4. He is now driven by rage and revenge, and he's been traumatized by being in a saw trap. So it's like he's a little more off the cuff and a little more wild.
It was just bad luck. He happened to stop the tape right before it told him what happens if he doesn't get in the trap.
Exactly.
It's just really bad luck.
But I will say, I love that ending where it's like, I always love the second that the Hello Zepp music kicks in, because it's like, here we go. Here comes the reveal.
Yeah, man. That wall trap, it's so visually terrifying. And like, we've seen it before in movies, like, Star Wars. Yeah. But I don't think we've ever seen in such a graphic detail what it does to you. And his performance like really sells it. He's trying like the dumbest shit, like trying to push the walls away. He's trying to climb up to nowhere.
He takes off his jacket just to like what's that gonna do, dude? Give him more arm.
Yeah, he tries climbing up to nowhere. There's no escape, but it's such a
and he's
such
like
a great
screaming and like he starts like screaming and yelling and like the blood covers the face of Hoffman and it's like,
oh yeah,
there he goes, and he's gone.
Yeah, I mean, this was definitely, I'd say, a good. Another good one where it was just like, all right, Hoffman, you are basically in the clear now. Everyone who is following you is gone.
Yeah.
And then, so let's see. Anything left for 5?
No,
that's most of my major points out of the way. I thoroughly enjoyed it as just a straightforward, no bullshit Saw movie. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's on my rewatch that I did for this, I definitely enjoyed it more than the last time I'd watched it. Yeah, it's just, I don't know what it is about it. It's really a shame that this is the one that let people down, because it's like, up till now, like most of the Saw movies they'd all made like over $100 million, and this one made 113. But then we jumped to Saw 6. And the stigma of 5. It's weird because that movie really must have pissed off the Saw franchise. Saw 6 only made $68.2 million. I mean, that is
a franchise.
That is and the sad thing is,
that sucks because I love Saw 6. Saw 6 is awesome.
I was gonna say, this is a fan favorite right here. So either one of you, go ahead.
Okay, first of all, I'll go first, I guess. I love what these assholes go through. The entire trap arc is way awesome. Like, I wanted them all to die. Seriously.
Wow.
Yeah, seriously. Like, they're all assholes.
Wait, you wanted every person in the trap to die?
Yeah,
Even the janitor, even
the old lady,
secretary, even the
yeah, I mean,
secretary.
like, 'cause, like, they were all assholes, right? Who were like, who were like cheating, who were like
The guy with the
cheating,
janitor.
What the hell did the janitor and the old lady do wrong?
He didn't do shit.
Okay, fine. The janitor and the old lady can live. Everyone else can eat lead for all I care. He's like, they were all assholes. Legit, they were all assholes. They were cheating people out of their healthcare. Like, which I know, this is my opinion. You never do that. You never cheat people out of their healthcare. They didn't want to cover, like, this company. They didn't want to cover their medical treatment. So, like, they all get put in these death traps. Like, and rightfully so. And honestly, this is the only film where my favorite trap and my favorite death don't line up, because because my favorite trap was the shotgun carousel. What an awesome concept, honestly. It was like, pick 2 people to live, but, like, the rest will die. And especially that last, like, death was like, look at me when you kill me, you motherfucker. And, like, I was like, yes, eat lead, you asshole. And then when my favorite death was Williams, dude. Oh, beautifully painful. I loved it. Love it so much.
He deserved it, you think?
He fucking deserved it, honestly. Yeah. But when that dude from, like, Diary of the Wimpy Kid, Greg's brother, like, he posed, you killed my father, you asshole, and, like, he pulls the lever and the needles inject the hydrochloric acid and he slowly melts away. I was like, oh, that's beautiful. That's art right there. I want to put it on the wall, dude. I want to put it on, like, that's a fucking masterpiece right there. Like, honestly, like, really, that guy deserved it. Like,
he did. And you know what? That, I think, is one of the strongest things about this movie is they made
the victims, like, it wasn't like in Saw 3 where, like, that guy who killed Jeff's son was like, oh, the plot twist is he's actually a good dude, and, like, he wasn't, like, he didn't mean it. He was crushed by it and all. And he still got his fucking head, like, turned like a corkscrew. Nah, these guys were assholes, and I was so happy to see them get killed. Yeah.
I mean, what I liked was opposite of the trap of Saw 5. It's like this trap directly linked itself right to John, which is probably what I loved the most about it, because it felt probably the most personal, and I thought they did a good job balancing Hoffman on the run versus the trap in this one. Instead of 3 stories, it was only 2 again this time. And I thought they gave plenty of time for the trap to work and evolve. And, like, personally, my favorite trap of the whole game had to be where Easton had to pick between the secretary or his assistant. Because what I loved the most about that one was it was the most on the point of everything that Easton stood for.
Yeah.
All right, you've got this old woman, history of diabetes in her family, probably not much longer to live, with a family, or a loner, young and healthy. Which one are you going to let die?
Cool. And it was psychological damage too, because, like, once he decided to save the old lady and not his assistant, his body slams on the glass pane just to show, like, yeah, this is the choice you made, dick.
And this goes against, and, like, the choice you just made by letting him die goes against everything you stand for in the company you work for.
Yeah, I think it's the most thematically resonant
game yet. Not for me. It was the shotgun carousel, because remember, like, they
it's a shotgun carousel.
2 out of, like,
that's
the 6
prolonged.
people, right? You have to pick 2 out of the 6 people left, because that was, like, the percentage of how much you actually, like, give your that was, like, how much you actually save from your healthcare plan, right? And or something like that. And
it also has the prolonged psychological torment, because they'll have to, like, beg for their lives. It's similar to how, the people seeking health insurance would have to beg for their lives for Easton.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that fact that, like, I'm gonna say this girl because I have a family. And then the other girl's like, I'm pregnant. She's lying. Like,
Yeah.
scream, you
Yeah.
assholes, scream.
They just suddenly all start backstabbing each other. My
Yeah.
parents have a shitload of money. They'll hook you up. Bullshit. Her parents cut her off. They hate her. That was harsh. A team of 6 who worked together like perfect. Suddenly all just turned on each
And
other.
I love the fact that the last decision is that wife and her and the kid, because like the wife's like about to like pull like, and like, I'm gonna stop you from doing all more of these crimes and all that, and the sister's watching and all that, and they're just begging like, don't do it, and the wife is like, hey, I'm not gonna do it, and then the guy's like, but I can. You killed my father, you asshole, and he pulls the lever, and then the needles like fall out and inject him with acid, and it's like, oh well, that's it. There we go.
I'd say also that what's his name, William, the main guy.
Yep,
He's,
William Easton.
Yeah, I'd say he's another great protagonist because he actually does kind of learn his lesson by the end, right?
I think he learned his lesson, but I think
too late, dude.
It's hard to tell because with a character like him, it's like, let's just say he'd lived and gotten out of it.
Dude, he's not going to work anytime soon, man.
But would he really have changed his ways? I mean, his like department's been wiped out.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Is he really going to change his ways, or is he just going to be like, okay, I need more security?
I don't know. I think he's been through enough trauma and stuff. Like, I highly doubt he's in the same business for sure.
I agree. He sold it. Like that scene where him and Pamela Jenkins saw each other, which, by the way, I thought she was another one. I thought she was just dropout gorgeous. I did think that twist was kind of cool because obviously at first you are thinking Tara and the kid are his family, but then like that, imagine being them and seeing the man who looked at your dad and said, "We're not covering you. You're going to die. I know you've been paying us for decades, but you don't get shit." Like, just imagine seeing that man again.
It's not that policy, and exactly. That's why, like, I completely understand like him pulling that lever and him, and the acid just like, it's like, what a great death, honestly. I was like, it was fantastic. I'm sorry.
You can tell John Kramer saved the best for William specifically.
Yeah, he really did. Like,
you can tell this is a really personal trap for him because most of the time, like, everyone kind of has a fighting chance to escape most of the time. But here, in almost all the traps, it's like, no, someone has to die. You know, you cannot save everyone.
Yeah, like,
and you can tell because I just love that flashback that shows how, like you just said, personal this is for John. I love when they flash back where him and Easton are having the conversation about the experimental therapy and John wanting to do it. And I just always love that scene where John was like, did you know in the Far East, if you're sick, you don't have a bill, it's free. You only pay for checkups or something like that, which is the way things should be.
Yeah.
But not in a world where everyone wants to be rich. But I do love that scene too, where Jigsaw like tries one final appeal and Easton is just like, John, the cancer you have is like, it's not going away. You're terminally ill. And he's like, damn, that rolled right off your tongue. And he's like, John, like, you just got to get used to it. And he's like, damn, that came out even faster than the first one. I just love it because it's like, it's like, why would you feel sympathy from this guy suddenly?
Yeah, no,
it's like, he doesn't give a shit. He just wants your money.
I felt no sympathy from his team, from his secretary to his intern to his like sister. Nah, dude, like, eat lead from the shotgun carousel. I'm sorry.
This is the movie. Whenever Santino's having a bad day, he's gonna watch it and be like, "Die! You deserve it."
Yeah. Whenever you see your medical bills, just watch this.
Because it did. You know what? It's funny with that. It does feel like it still holds up today. How much insurance has over what you can and cannot do.
Yeah, it's like, wow, you assholes. It's like.
Let's see. So let's jump out of the trap for a minute and talk about the other half of the story.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, we forgot.
No, you're fine. Yeah, the other half of the story is still. Hoffman versus Jill, basically.
Yeah. He's that scene where they're like deciphering his voice message was really suspenseful.
I love that. I remember the first
Right
time
now you're
seeing
feeling
that in
helpless.
theaters. As soon as the chick working on it goes, there it is. Right now you're feeling helpless. There was some chick in my theater. She's like, oh shit, they got him.
Nope.
It's like, no shit. But the funny thing about that is, all right, I love that scene. Do you want to know my biggest issue with it? Why
What is
were
that?
Erickson and Perez fucking idiots? Why did they give him coffee? Why were there
Yeah.
no armed guards in this room? If they suspected this was Jigsaw's apprentice who had evaded capture, don't you think they would have had like 10 cops in there, or they just wouldn't have even had him there?
That would have been a little bit awkward. Like, so they hear the voice message and to be like, haha, we got you now. Come quietly, please. Yeah.
But no, instead it's throat slash, coffee to the face, and then lit on fire.
Friendly fire. Yeah. But yeah, I think this is my favorite Hoffman yet. I mean, that the whole scene where he manages to escape that
He's basically
reverse
like
bear trap.
he's basically like a fucking serial killer at this point. Like he's just all like going out killing people. And it's like, dude, are you the fucking Terminator at this point? Has this become a budget Terminator?
And then it's the 7th movie.
I was gonna say the Terminator doesn't show up till the next movie.
Yeah, exactly. I know, but like, he's starting to like do it now. It's like, fuck me, dude.
He's losing it because he knows, even though he killed off Strom, he knows he's still being watched, and he's starting to break. He's not the calm, collected Hoffman we saw in 5 anymore.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's like, I love the ending of this movie because you're thinking like, all right, great. So Jill has him in his place. You know, he's finally subdued. Like, nope, he fucking like breaks his hand to escape, and then he uses the grills in the door to hold the reverse bear trap in place.
I genuinely love that because, again, seeing this in theaters, I was like, holy shit. I was like, okay, so this is the last movie then. Jill's about to kill him off and she's going to walk away. And then, boom, breaks his hand, gets out, and survived. I'm like, oh, damn, we got another one coming.
Yeah, and then that final image of him, like, with his cheek ripped open and just screaming, and then just
as blood's pouring out.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Just all around, honestly, I really have no complaints about this movie.
I have none either. It's fantastic. It's art, the way they do it.
Like, I think it was, like you said, out of all the traps, I think Easton was probably the best one to stick in it because he was completely despicable, but we could, like, watch him and relate to every, like, issue he was going through. Like he seemed like one of those like rich elites who'd never been brought down to ground level, but was still a redeemable human being.
Yeah,
like you said, Dylan.
He tried real hard.
Yeah, like we'll just say it like that with the shotgun carousel. He did not have to stick his hands in those things and save anybody. He could have just been like, I'm not screwing up my hands for you guys, but he still did.
Yeah, same with that lawyer chick. You know, he really tried to save her, but then she tried cutting his stomach open, so he had no choice.
Yeah. She was, I'm like torn. I can't tell if she was a monster or not. I mean, I think she was just like a typical corporate sleazebag lawyer, but it's hard to tell if she was a monster like the rest of them.
Yeah.
She was another one who was pretty hot. Shame she had to die.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So Saw 6. Don't forget there was the one flash. This was the one where they did the flashback where we saw that Hoffman was the one who put that note. Yeah, this was where we saw what was in that note that Amanda had that made her freak out and kill Lynn in part 3. Don't forget.
Well, yeah, it was. What was that? What was that reveal again? I'm sorry, because like, I was so I'm so convoluted with those like things. Like this timeline's so confusing.
Yeah, no, she was involved in the death of John's baby. Like it was her.
Oh right, yeah.
Her druggy boyfriend to break into the clinic and that indirectly helped Gideon.
Right. Yeah. Right.
And so like that, they were setting up the traps for Saw 3, and she's just like, there ain't nothing you can do about me. And so he gave her that note, basically as like, you fucked with the wrong one.
Yeah. I get what you mean, Santino, with these flashbacks. I think I forget who said it, but someone said the Saw movies, they're like one big flashback to a present day that never happens. That sums it up quite well.
I'm shocked there wasn't a way they could find to tie like a scene from like the original Saw into this one and be like, that actually happened at the end of Saw 7.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Saw 6, I think all around, yeah, we don't really have any issues with it.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I think I think the reason for its bombing was because it came out the same weekend as Paranormal Activity 2.
Oh shit, was it 2 or 1?
I think it was 2, because I think 1, built up the hype, and then 2 is when like everyone flooded to see it.
Okay. Yeah, which is weird because
yeah,
no, they were different.
I'm not a fan of the Paranormal franchise at all. Not even the first one.
Not even 3?
No, wait, okay. 3, I've only seen 1 and 3. 3 was the first one I saw, and I remember enjoying it fine, but I was like, I don't know, that was so long ago. And then I rewatched the first one recently, and I was like, man, this is really boring. And I like Blair Witch Project. I could not stand Paranormal.
I like the third Paranormal. I like the first 3 Paranormal Activities and the marked ones, and I don't like the rest.
Okay.
Well, you have the marked ones. I heard that was like one of the shittiest ones. Really?
No, marked ones was not one of the shit. I don't know who the hell told you that.
I heard this new one is not much better. Next of Kin.
Oh, yeah, this one like takes place in like an Amish village.
Uh-huh.
I don't understand why the Amish would have cameras, but all right. I guess we'll see though. I haven't watched the trailer, but as weird as it sounds, I've actually seen people being like, "Oh, it actually looks kind of cool," and I'm like, okay." Ghost Dimension was terrible, so I guess we'll see.
I thought the fact that it just wasn't in some regular house was at least kind of interesting.
I'll watch the trailer later. We'll see.
Oh, also, I'm mistaken. Apparently, it is. You were right, Chad. It is the first Paranormal Activity that beat the movie out of the box office.
You know what? But I will give that credit because they've been hyping that up for a while. Like the marketing campaign for that was like they hadn't done a marketing campaign for a movie like that since Blair Witch, where it was like, oh my god, this could be real, and it had been like hyped up at film festivals. So I can see why.
Yeah, and it's also that the Saw franchise, it's just not friendly to newcomers,
Yeah.
Oh, please, walk into Saw 6 blind. You'll be lost.
Yeah.
You'll have no idea. You're like, who is this old guy talking about? Who's this old guy talking about his cancer to the main bad guy who's here in the trap? Who is this person?
The opening scene, after the cutting off the arms trap, the opening scene was like Hoffman discovering the dead body of Strom. And if you're the audience, you'd be like, who the fuck is that?
You're like, what the hell is that?
Uh-huh. Is that a person?
It was.
Where did he come from?
Wait, what happened? Should I have seen Saw 5 before coming to the 6th installment?
You should have seen all of it before you should come to the 6th. This is like the one franchise where like you can't skip anything because like you will not get it whatsoever.
That's something I love. Like, whereas these franchises keep like renaming themselves. Like with like there's like Halloween, there's Halloween 2018, there's Halloween 2007. Like the Saw franchise, it's like 1 through 6. It's just like Roman numerals throughout, no subtitles or anything.
Yeah, that's what I love about those. It's like Saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And then out of the blue, we jump to Saw 3D.
Yeah, that's true.
But we'll get to that in our next episode. So, closing thoughts so far. Anything to say before we tap out for the night?
Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, solid sequel. Definitely one of the best ones.
All right. Guys, thanks for tuning in to Saw 5 and 6. What did you think of these two? We are coming up to the end. We got 2 more episodes, and then we are done. We are done for the year. So, guys, we will see you next week. Have a good night.